We're going to be pushing the buttons. It looks like we are live. What is up, Terry Tillard?
We are live, buddy. It's good. It feels good to be back, man. It's been a little while. We've since we've gotten together and done a live stream like this. We still do videos and stuff, but this is fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Holy smokes. I'm telling you what, the last 3 days have been insane. Like the excitement for this project have been insane. Like have you had anybody have you ever had a response like this before?
No, man. It's pretty incredible when just everyone catches a vision quick. It's just really great. I mean, we've got lots of other exciting projects in our world, but when you see this and you put it in front of someone and the light bulb just goes off and everything clicks, that's powerful.
Absolutely, absolutely. So people are probably asking already, what the heck is Terry and Mike about to talk about? And we're about to talk to you guys about Texit Coin. I tell you what, crypto to me is insane. Like, and I'll tell you the other thing too is I think that if people are not getting up to speed on crypto right now, they're going to get run over. Like I was thinking about this before we got on here about the fact that when the internet came out years ago, because I'm old enough to remember no cell phones. I had a party line at the house. We had a rotary phone, all that stuff. Like that's how old I am. I'm 57 years old. And the speed of the transition and technology we had to go. I remember when people said the internet wasn't going to last. Like they were like, well, I don't want to get on that. And right. And now the entire internet is on your phone. Like you can't get away from it. Everything is just rocking and rolling. And crypto is that next wave. Crypto is definitely that next wave because everybody's got to get up to speed on it. Okay. Now, the cool part is I got my boy, Terry Tillard, on here. I think I'm pointing in the right direction, who's been in this space. How many years you been in crypto, Terry?
Oh my God, I lose track, right? It's just time flies. I've been serious about crypto for a long time. And for, anyone watching, just so we are, Mike and I have been community educators for other crypto projects. We still have passion for those projects as well. But we believe in diversifying, right? It's all about finding other projects that have legs. We're trying to find a bunch of different projects that have a shot, at getting into that top 50, top 20. And I think we've grabbed onto one. So I love educating people about it. For those who haven't figured out yet that crypto is the future of money, I'm not sure how many ways we could explain that to people, but we're either going to create money that we're in control of and that benefits the people, or we're going to get right back into, like a fiat reboot, right? And I don't want that. So anytime we find some winners, great to tell people about it.
Absolutely. So let me jump right into this. So Terry gives me a buzz because Terry and I, we've been talking, we've been friends now for going on about 4 years. And I've learned a tremendous amount from you, Terry. So big, applaud to you for everything you've taught me in the crypto space. I really feel like I'm light years ahead of where I was when I was a beginner. And the nice thing is if you just understand some basics of this stuff, you can really benefit financially from it. I do have a constant disclaimer down at the bottom here that this is not financial advice. We are not financial advisors in any way, always check with somebody. But Terry calls me up and he says, Healy, have you heard about this thing called Texit Coin? And I'm like, no. And then I kind of noticed it was a Texas thing. I love Texas. I actually lived there in Arlington for 1 year when I was in the bar business way back when. That's where I met my wife, actually. And he was telling me about this project. And he said, this token has grown over 700% in the last few months. Like the November price point on here, I don't know if you can see that real well, but the November price point, and you can look this up on CoinMarketCap. I went and took a screenshot of this, and actually that's actually an old price. This is a screenshot I took 2 days ago. I think it's at like 48 right now. The growth, the steady incline is a 700% growth prospect on this. Okay. So Terry's calling me, we're having a conversation, and he said there's a couple things that they're doing with this. One, you can go and buy the tokens directly on the open market, which I'm a big fan of, obviously. But the goose laying the golden egg is what I learned from Terry and a lot of other crypto people, where the real wealth can happen, because you get what they call miners, like nodes, a lot of times what people call them. And what those do is those create on a daily basis rewards. Basically, you're rewarded for activating one of these things in the form of a token. Okay, so I always equate it with the node is, or I'm sorry, the tokens are the eggs, and the node is the goose laying the golden eggs. Okay, and I'll get back to that in a second. Terry, when you saw this, you saw that kind of growth on here. What was your first response?
Well, you know me, I've been an accumulator of these things. Like I call them the ATMs, right? Like I want to have a lot of them in my life of various kinds, whether that's validators, miners, NFTs, things that generate me tokens while I'm sleeping are always have a lot of appeal to me, right? Because this is going to make a lot of money over time. If you look at just the original Bitcoin network, the original Bitcoin miners and other projects that were similar to that, basically the early forks of Bitcoin, the miners, of course, made the most money. One question I'm always asking myself, and I like asking other people this, is if you could go back in time, do you wish that you were mining Bitcoin in the early days? Yes or no, right? And there isn't another answer to that question. There only is one answer to that question. We all wish that we did it. So every time I find a chance to even get some semblance of that, I get very excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Terry calls me up, and what was nice is I kind of understood the messaging to begin with, and what miners are. As I remember, I had a conversation with one time, and I remember the first time I ever heard the idea of it, I literally thought someone was digging dirt, right? I mean, that's what I'd always pictured. You're some little guy was with a little pickaxe going in there, but these are actually the actual miner devices. These are what do they call these specifically, Terry?
These are ASIC miners, yeah.
ASIC miner. That's the top of the line miners that you can get, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the big guys in the Bitcoin network may be using something, super tech. I don't know, because they've got more money than God, but this is the real deal. Which that was our question in the beginning when I looked at it. It's like there's lots of scams out there. Everyone's fell victim to one or another at some point, myself included. I don't want to get burned. I don't want friends and family getting burned. I don't want to be writing apology notes to people. So we seek to verify as best as we can. You can never do that perfectly. But one of the things you and I talked about is that we heard about friends of a friend who had gone and seen the mining outfit. And I want to trust that. But then I called you up and you said, yo, I got family that live close by. I'm going to send him down there and go verify for us. And so I'll let you tell that story, Mike.
Yeah. So the person who actually got me to buy my very first crypto is my brother-in-law, Ray. He now lives down in Dallas area, down by actually Waxahachie. And I called him about this because he got me in years ago when XRP was like 16 cents, 20 cents, something like that, right? And you listen when people you respect basically say, hey, this might be something. Their track record, they've done some, they got some education. This isn't just a fly-by-night thing. And so I called him about this and I told him what I heard. And then I got Terry on the phone. We started going back and forth, and Terry and I were trying to find all the holes we could find in the Texit thing. And Ray was like, hey, I'll just drive up there. And sure enough, he drove up there and he took these photos. These are his from his phone. And the lady in there, she was there, and I walked him around, explained how it all worked, everything like that. So it was really cool to have that opportunity to check that out, I thought. So I'm going to come back to that slide here in a second. But so it was cool. So Terry and I we started going more, and then we did a Zoom last Saturday, I think it was, before any of us had decided to purchase these things. And the guy we had, Mitchell, on there, who's your friend, and he did a fantastic job of just kind of giving the basics. Like he'd been in crypto before, and I have those videos. I'm going to show you where you can watch some of the content if I reference it here in a second. But he got on there and he did a fantastic job of just kind of laying it out. I would have had my camera on, but I just got done working out and I was outside and it was noisy and stuff like that. Terry, that's why I didn't put my face up there. But what you've seen so far, Terry, in just a few days that we've been involved with this, Did you get one of the nodes? Have you already seen mining tokens come in, rewards? Have people been receptive to this? I'll give you those three questions right now.
Yeah, I mean, everything so far has been exactly as it's been portrayed, which is what I'm looking for. Like, you and I participate in real world asset projects on blockchains. Like, I like that. I don't want just a meme coin. The fact that they're doing real mining and have real goals and a reason to exist, unlike fart coin, matters to me. That stuff matters to me. It looks like a solid track record. They're making real investments. They're trying to, they're trying to pursue something, and they're doing what they said they would do, right? And so, yes, owning some mining power is fantastic. It's an easy way to think of it as kind of like a fractional ownership, if you will. But we got that, and then it generates tokens. And I went to bed last night, and you wake up in the morning and you got more than yesterday. I'm thrilled. And I look at charts like you showed earlier. That was, I think it was around 6 cents to the high 40s, let's call it. It would not surprise me at all, not even a little bit, if we got to 60 cents soon. That's not a huge rise from where we are, but that would be roughly a 10x in 6 months. And like you said earlier, we're not financial advisors. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that when there's a good plan and someone's executing on the plan, things tend to go great. And I just, in my mind, I thought about these worst case scenarios. What if the next 6 months looks exactly like that 6 months, right? I don't need to get, we don't need to hit the lottery in 1 week, but if we're going 10x in a 6 month time window, what if all 6 months time windows look like that? I just thought in my mind, hey, this is a good place to be in. I want to be involved. I want to be diversifying. I want to expand my portfolio.
All right, you froze up there for a second, Terry. Sorry.
This thing is
Can you hear
printing
me?
tokens. I love it.
Perfect. You froze up there for a second, Terry. Keep talking. I want to hear. Make sure you're good.
Yeah, you're a little choppy on my end here, Mike.
Okay. You're. I think it's okay.
Can you hear me
here's
right
what
now,
I'm gonna do. Yeah, you're good. I want to show you this real quick. So this is, I'm gonna pull up my other screen I got over here. This is actually the company's website that you, if if somebody wanted to take a look at it, and it goes in it, and they go through and they explain it. There was no pre-mining of these tokens. I mean, it's a legit opportunity to do it. They've got some good videos out there. There's a lot of great videos that are just starting to come out with this thing. And, I think this one right here, I'm gonna blow that, see if I can blow that up real quick. Begin earning immediately and being in early. Okay. Like being in early makes sense with this project. They originally started it. And I want you to tell a little bit about that story, Terry, of where this kind of, came in. Okay. So let me get you just full screen. Okay. Real quick. So go ahead and tell us about the guy that started this, because I think this adds a tremendous amount of credibility to why we really took it serious in the first place.
Well, I love it because we've all been involved with some projects. Sometimes, maybe you love a lot of their ideas, but it's pretty obvious that it wasn't, a fairly distributed token. That's never fun, right? So when I go on the website and I see right away no pre-mine, this is very appealing to me. This jumps out to me because this is a hallmark, at least one of the hallmark tenets of someone trying to build a crypto project that is for the people. They want fair, equal distribution. That matters to me. So I really like that. And then, I always feel like it's an invasion of privacy. I'm a privacy guy, right? But I got to look into the founder some. And when I start to look into him, I find out that he was very involved with the Ron Paul movement, very involved with alternative currencies, very involved with currencies backed by metals. I mean, you and I talk about, we're looking for things that are backed by assets, something that's real and tangible. A guy who's got that mindset I resonate with, and then I see him talking in front of Congress, talking about the power and the beauty and the importance of alternative currencies. I don't think people realize, this is one of the things that really gets to me. I lead a permissionless life. I don't ask for people's permission. I despise the idea. I hate that we live in a world like that. For those of you who think your money in your bank account is actually yours, it's not true. You do need permission to access it. That's why they ask you, where are you sending it? Who are you sending it to? Oh, there's limits on how much you can withdraw today, limits on how much you can send to somebody. There's all these limits. That's a form of asking for permission. I understand that the founder of this project understands that we need something where that doesn't happen, right? When you have self-custody in your wallet and you can transact peer-to-peer, that's what crypto was designed for. It's going back to the original Bitcoin white paper that was absolutely talking about peer-to-peer digital cash. When Bitcoin got hijacked, they start changing the conversation to digital gold and just store it. And Bitcoin doesn't transact fast enough, and Bitcoin's got lots of problems, and it's been fully hijacked at this point. Like, anyone who can't see that, DM me, I'll help you understand it quick. And I see that this guy's saying, hey, we could create a currency for a state. There's something brilliant about the simplicity. There's something brilliant about doing it around the emblem of a state, because now all of his marketing is talking to a target audience, right? It's impossible to market something and try and talk to everybody all at once. So this idea of talking to a strict audience makes a lot of sense. And everything they've set up is really, really simple. And usually simple things tend to work and grow legs. And it's not hard to imagine, if you and I owned a small business in Texas right now, that we could, would, should start accepting this as actual currency in exchange for goods and services. Is that along the lines of what you want to hash out, Mike?
Yeah, that's perfect. And it's going to lead me into my next thought. I'm going to bring this back up here. Is I think it's important for, so basically what's happening is you, Terry, whoever else, we have the ability to go buy these licenses, right? We buy like a single one is $9.95. You can get 3 of them. You can get 9 of them, that kind of thing. And then when you purchase them, what they're doing is that's what's creating the tokens. Those are the things that you are purchasing, the kind of the software license. You don't have to host it. You don't have to put software in your a component in your house, anything like that. And you can see in your back office, because they give you a back office that you can track and see those tokens coming in every day. You can, obviously, they have a wallet app, that kind of thing. And there's liquidity on this right now. So somebody literally was looking for a cash flow asset. And if you look at where that thing has steadily gone up, somebody could get one of those things and it's like tokens every day. And then you go, hey, I want to take the wife out to eat. And you go cash those tokens in and you can use that money. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but again, I'm not a financial advisor. And so I was asking Terry, so the next thing I came up with was, I was like, Terry, it looks like something's taken off. Like, it looks like they're getting some traction. How are they doing it? And you got Mitchell on the phone. Excuse me. You got Mitch on the phone, and he was talking about how people have been wrapping their cars. I thought these were great. I pulled some screenshots that I found or images that I found from one of the Telegram groups that these guys were in. And I thought it was hilarious that they had this going on. The other thing I had was, I remember that you had said that if somebody wanted to, that's all they had to do. They could buy one, set it, forget it, have a nice day, go on. And Mitch talked about that on the Zoom we did. But then he did mention there was, like everything else out there, there was a slight affiliate portion to this. And the reason I pulled this slide up right here is this is in your back office. If you decide to get one of these nodes, that you can track how many nodes are in the ecosystem completely, all that stuff. Like, it's really, really detailed, but they also, most importantly, show what the company's doing. And that right there, that slide shows that they've already paid out over $2.4 million to people like you and I for just mentioning these things to people. And they have a referral program on here that's one of the reasons they're growing, I think, to that level. What would you say about that, Terry?
Yeah, I think it's the important thing to realize that it's still a real crypto project. That part is optional. You don't have to get involved with that at all. It's just they're trying to look at an ad budget, right? Like any company does. I've got an ad budget. If I'm Netflix or Hulu, I've got to decide, is putting up a billboard, is wrapping a car, is paying some crypto influencers, is it just paying everyday people who are just going to tell their brother about a coin that's going up by 10x every 6 months. You know, I got to decide how I'm going to spend that money to get the word out, right? And people overcomplicate it in their minds, right? The marketing dollar is going to get spent somewhere. Sometimes this is the most efficient use of it, because if you and I are tracking any crypto program, I'm not just using the example, I'm not guaranteeing, and I have no idea, I have no crystal ball for the future, but if the last 6 months did a 10x, you know, I just like to believe that that will be the continued trajectory. So if the next 6 months look exactly like that, I wouldn't sleep at night not telling my friends and family. I don't want to miss out on that. I mean, that could alter someone's life.
I told all my buddies that I play racquetball with, I'm like, look, I'm going to mark this day down for you guys. If you want to take a look, here's a website to take a look at. I've got a couple of videos on there that do a real good explanation. Some of them is a story from Bobby. Another one, just a 6-minute clip. And then, you know, then the Zoom we did, I'll actually probably put this video on there as well. And I just wanted to make sure it was on here. By the way, while I got that up here, I'm going to show you guys this. You guys are always welcome to use, let me see here. Did that not change screens? Hold on a second. Let me try it real quick. That didn't change screens on me here. Sorry, I'm just trying to do something here. I got to re-add it. I got a website that I'll pull up here. It must have jumped off the screen for me. Go ahead, Terry. Keep talking because I'm gonna pull that screen up again.
No worries, buddy. Yeah. So to me, it's all about keeping it simple, right? And I'm trying to look into the future, right?
There it is.
And now you see a company that's doing a few things that gave me a lot of green flags, right? If you're involved with a scam, A, there is no mining equipment. B, if you're involved with someone who's trying to scam you, there's no such thing as a limit about how much money they'll take. And they've got lots of whale protections here because we don't want BlackRock coming and owning the entire supply. There's a maximum amount that you can purchase. That's a big green flag for me. If you are running banners and ads in San Antonio or the Austin airport, one of those, running ads in the airport, and you're putting up banners and billboards and buses and stuff like that, you're not going to put out that calling card if you're involved with trying to do something shady. And I'm looking for projects that are trying to be part of a solution for the world's problems, not someone who's trying to hurt people, you know? So there's a lot of green flags here that just keep popping up that leave me warm and fuzzy. And some people have decided to participate and some don't. And I'm totally indifferent either way. We have been community educators for many projects on a completely voluntary basis. I am still a community educator for several projects right now. No one's paying me. You know, it's not like I only do things that pay, but I'm not opposed, of course, if they want to thank me for helping them grow the business. We got to grow this community of people who use and hold and know about the coin for it to ever turn into a currency, even if it's just the currency of the farmers markets, right? Or the small economy, the local businesses. It's got to grow to some critical size mass where you can start to transact with this stuff. So there's lots of exciting stuff going on here. I like so many things that they're doing.
Absolutely. So this was the site that I made this site myself. It's generic and just has the short videos on here. Like it's got the 6-minute overview. It's, if you want to see it, it's at MikeHealyTraining.com/Texit. MikeHealyTraining.com/Texit. And you're welcome to share this with people, show it to them, that kind of thing. I think this video right here, if you play this, I'm not going to play this for you guys, but
hi there. I'm Bobby Gray, founder and fearless leader of Texit Coin.
Absolutely fantastic. It goes through his whole story, everything on here. It's just, it's really good because you really get the entire idea, the vision, where we think this is going. And I'm going to pull it up again because this is ultimately what we're looking for. We're looking for the goose laying golden eggs and the eggs maturing to go from hummingbird size eggs to ostrich eggs in a nutshell. I mean, that's really what we're looking at here. And I think I love the fact that I now kind of understand these things. Like I remember looking at my first node project, might have been over 4 years ago. and it didn't really it didn't really click. And then there was a lot of people just like yourself that had shared some information. And once it did, it was like, man, these are like real digital assets that just everything that, like stuff I'd studied for years, like the Rich Dad, Poor Dad stuff. And especially his second book, The Cashflow Quadrant by Kiyosaki, where he's talking about being an investor, business owner. But everything he talked about was how can you obtain cash flow assets, the assets that you get that produce positive cash flow. And the nodes to me in today's crypto space seem to be as close as happiness as you can get, right? It just makes sense. But what about you, Terry? You think about the same thing?
It's cool because I love that you brought up Kiyosaki. You and I haven't talked about him in so many years, honestly, but that guy had a huge impact on my life. It wasn't insignificant. I love the first book. That had a huge impact. His second book had a massive impact on me, and then seeing those 4 quadrants. And then ever since then, it was all like, no, he's completely right. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, period. And I grew up seeing like a lot of people with rental real estate and that kind of stuff, and dealing with tenants and people breaking windows, kicking in doors, smashing the drywall. Like you constantly got to repair the place, and you don't even keep that much money for all of that hassle factor. So, you can hold gold and store it in your closet, but that doesn't get you that too far. I see a lot of problems with Wall Street and the stock market, and I don't like Wall Street being in between me and my money. So you got to look for other things, and the amount of money. I mean, Bitcoin is the single best performing asset in history. If you're looking for assets and you're not looking at crypto, you're looking for love in all the wrong places. What are you doing? There's so much growth potential here, right? Put it this way. I don't think a lot of people realize this, because we always talk about mega trends, and that's kind of that's kind of my thesis in life. I'm looking for those things, right? And you look at megatrends, you say like, okay, if you got in an Amazon in the early days, what happened? If you got into Netflix, Hulu, all these things, there's so many. And then, the internet, you talked about it earlier, is the internet still going to exist? Is it going to go away? Is the internet just a fad? I remember that. I remember hearing people, cell phones, they're not going to replace people getting together and talking in real life. We already had computers. We're not going to get rid of that. What happens though with tech is tech moves in cycles. They tend to have about a 17-year adoption cycle. It's just the way it is. And we're coming up on year 17 with crypto. So friends, if you have not figured out yet that crypto is the future, give that noggin a shake, jump in a cold plunge, whatever you need to do. You need to wake up to reality, because crypto's adoption cycle is twice as fast as the internet, twice as fast as cell phones. Right? And we already live in a world that's mostly all digital money anyway. Why does it have to be in the form that it's always been? The Federal Reserve, we all just grew up with that, but that doesn't make it normal. There were many times in history where there wasn't a private corporation in between the money, right? Piece of paper with dead criminals on them, as I like to call them. I don't want that dirty fiat anyway. Like crypto is just wildly more efficient. The transaction time and speed, the cost, the everything. It makes no sense in my mind. I tell my wife, it's like some days I want to just wear a bubble or a t-shirt sign. If you're not in crypto, we may not be friends, like, I don't know if I want to, I don't understand people don't want to deal with this anymore. Why are we still using pieces of paper? Like when you get this digital stuff, it's so much better. I think there's a niche in crypto. Niche is, there won't be just one winner. I just don't believe that, but there'll be multiple winners. And one of them is going to be in the peer-to-peer payments kind of arena, right? That's just going to be the niche that they carve out. And it just so happens that that's the niche that Texit's talking about. And a lot of the other players, they'll get their slice of the pie. That's fine. But I see this as a winning concept. I think it's got legs. We're already seeing it. The charts tell you that it's already got legs.
And the neat thing is just the steady growth. Like if you see something explode, I can almost guarantee you, you're going to see it plummet in crypto. Like it's usually a rug pull on its way to happening. But with a project like this, especially from somebody who's got the experience, like if you listen to some of the interviews, you actually watch the video that I just kind of showed you on that website about what Bobby's talking. Here's somebody who's been in the crypto space pretty much since its inception. very knowledgeable. Like we said earlier, spoke in front of Congress, and to be partnered up and jump on a project like that to me is exciting. I haven't talked to the guy yet myself. I don't think you have yet either, Terry. We just went with what we found and jumped on board with this thing. And, you know, I mean, people could do whatever they want with this thing. I mean, what we do, what Terry and I have been known to do is just share these things with us. And people, it starts to resonate. You know, you start hearing it a few times. You're like, you know what, that makes sense. You know, how hard is it for the majority of people to make an additional $100 a day or $500 a day, or let alone $1,000 a day? Like, a lot of people just don't even remotely have a chance of doing that. Like, don't have a chance. And with projects like this, you know, depending on the bag of nodes you want to pick up, or, you know, that kind of thing, just amazing. And by the way, I didn't even mention it. They actually, if you refer people to this and that get them, they actually set you up with free nodes as well, which I thought that was amazing. You know, free mining software. So it's pretty crazy. Here's one. Somebody just posted this. This is pretty good. This guy right now producing about 36 tokens of miners per day. Okay, so thanks, Dr. Steve, on that one. I want to address this real quick. Again, not financial advice, but if you multiply that like 50 cents times, you know, it's approximately 50 cents times 36, that's for doing nothing. That's literally for doing nothing. And he could cash that out right now. But if he's to hold and this thing hits $5, $10, and we've heard projections that have been public, this isn't something we're making up. They've said this on Zooms. Bobby said this on Zooms, that he believes before February, by around February, this next February coming up, they could see the token anywhere from like $15 to $30. And I'm like, holy smoke. So if you take if Dr. Steve banks those tokens, there's 36 a day, do 36 times the potential value down the road to future value of it, and tell me that's not exciting for what it takes to get some of these nodes, right? So pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just the thing. Like, we're, you know, if anything we're saying here just makes even a shred of sense, all I can encourage you to do is just reach out to us. We'll hold you by the hand, walk you down the rabbit hole. I ain't gonna chase you. If you either like it or you don't, but I'll just make sure that you understand it. I always say, get to the bottom of the rabbit hole, deepen your understanding, make sure you get it. And I get it. I've been talking about alternative currency systems since before Bitcoin existed. I won an award before Bitcoin came out as a young adult for talking about alternative currency systems. So when I see something that is just, you know, aiming in the right direction, and maybe they could just win in a micro community, which is probably one of the smartest moves that they've done, because it can still scale out from there. It's not restricted to there, but at least you've got an audience that you can talk to and make good sense of. And all of a sudden you've got some kind of a niche. Calling Texas a small niche to point your marketing dollars at is, you know, is something to chuckle about. But I mean, it's a lot better than trying to point it at the whole world. You know, it's a lot easier to just in your own wheelhouse, your own backyard. And I think what you're going to find is in the next year or so, you're probably not going to be able to go to a festival, a concert, a gun show, you know, all these things that are common in Texas, the barbecues, the ball games, the whatever, and not see and hear about Texit. And it's probably not even that long down the road before some of these larger outfits, maybe not the publicly traded Walmarts of the world, you know, but, you know, some of these medium-sized businesses start accepting it. That's not a stretch for me. It's just absolutely not. Yeah. And I like that you said, like, you get the tokens today and you can cash them out. There is enough liquidity. There already is exchange listings. Let's face it, anyone who's been a tech investor of any kind, a crypto investor of any kind, has got some road rash from delays and tech delays. They're real. No one's here to criticize, you know, or say that they're not real or say that they're isolated to certain people, but that road rash is real. It's hard to invest in a project that's coming someday, that's just being built out. Now, there's a lot of opportunity in those things, but there's a lot of pain as well. So this is still really new. but not so new that we're waiting on them to build the basic infrastructure, which is still nice. So, and I'm not saying
it's already an L1 too, correct?
It is. They're already mining. They're already on exchanges. There's already liquidity. They're taking the steps, and I don't even understand all of Bobby's plan yet. Like you said, we haven't met him, and I'm sure we will soon enough. And I'd love to talk to him. But when I heard what he had said a few times, I understand, like, click instantly that this guy gets it. And it looks to me also, one of the things that's really exciting for those who are miners is that this guy really appears to have a plan, is working the plan, and seems to be just going from one milestone to the next, and has a vision, and he's executing on the vision. And that's what you need. Yeah, there's lots of great ideas out there with zero execution, and there's some ideas with some execution or delayed execution, but this guy just seems to be, hitting his stride. Let's just call it that. And I'm excited about lots of other projects too. I don't want to make it sound like I'm the pom-pom only, or this is the only thing in the world, be the only crypto project. No, but I think we're on to something here. I think there's some real value, and I'm very excited about what they're doing and very excited about the future.
Absolutely. And again, we don't need everybody to participate in this. Like, it's already got a nice growth curve to it. And, we don't need to be the size of Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP or XLM. None of that for this thing to be potentially life-changing for some people. But if it's not like life-changing, I know that's a hyped up phrase a lot of times, but even if it's just help somebody supplement their income on a regular basis, you know what I mean? Like again, what do people have to do to make an additional, not $5,000 a month, but $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year? I mean, I got friends that tell me what they do, the part-time things they pick up, whether it's coaching or part-time jobs at places, to make that kind of money is just mind-boggling to me, that people aren't looking for alternatives. Like, quit doing what everybody's doing and do something different. Look where the money's going. This is where the money's going. Get in front of the money, right? Anyhow, I get a little fired. You and I could talk about this stuff all day. Yes, Joseph, this is the perfect, Joseph has the perfect comment.
You're not wrong, though. You're not right. For an extra 10K a year, some people, the shit that they are doing, and a lot of them can't get there. We love to joke. It's so easy to joke and make memes about OnlyFans, but honestly, I feel bad for a lot of these young ladies that are on there. They're doing some things they're probably going to have a lot of regrets about, because they need to bring in a little extra money, and it's not pretty, but you can do it in another way here. And it's like the old Wayne Gretzky 101, right? Like, how do you win? You find out where the puck is going, not where it was, and you get in front of the damn thing, right? If you can see a wall of money on the way into anything, data centers, oil drilling, whatever, all stuff that Texas knows about, you can find a way to get in front of that and get in between the money. I mean, that's the smart move here, guys. Like, the writing's on the wall. Like,
absolutely.
Got to do it. And Mike, so you mentioned that, and I don't want to sour anyone who's just not interested, but just get a few of your preconceived notions out of the way, and realize that if you need to supplement your income, you can help grow something in the currency space and do really well. And like Mike said, we don't need to get to Bitcoin, but it doesn't mean we couldn't get there either, right? Let's focus on the crypto 100 for now, focus on the crypto 50 for now, focus on the crypto 20 for now, that kind of stuff, like getting in the top 100. But you can't get ahead of yourself, but you still got to have vision. Vision is what drives the world. That man's got a vision, and he's executing on it. So, he could do it. What if it does get into the crypto top 20, top 10 someday? You'll be very happy with the decisions that you made today. And again, you could sell your token. Here's the thing that's no brainer to me, Mike. I thought about it this way too. If I'm a miner, if I've got my share of the mining thing, I worked out the math, and didn't matter how I worked it out. And you can work it out in a million different scenarios with price appreciation or not, or where it's going and that kind of business. No matter how you slice that deck up of cards, you'll realize that it's a no-brainer. There's basically no scenario that I can come up with that's remotely realistic where your miner doesn't generate significantly more than you put your toe in the water with, right? So then I don't know how you go wrong. Just the part I can't figure out. I literally can't figure out how someone goes wrong here, and I like that feeling because if I'm telling my friends about it, I want them to win. I really want them to win. So I got to find things where it's like, man, I just don't know how you don't win in this, so.
And I've actually, the reason I tell people and make the phone calls that I do, people are like, oh, you just want to try to get some bonus money and all that stuff. I'm like, I've experienced running into people that made a tremendous amount of money and didn't take the time to call me, and I was pretty PO'd to say the least. I mean, I was upset. I was genuinely. I'm like, well, if you know about this, and they're like, well, I didn't know. I'm like, well, just at least give me the opportunity to say no, So to me, that's kind of what I do. Is like, I don't want anybody mad at me down the road that I didn't tell them. I said no to Bitcoin at $300.
Oh man, that's painful.
And I had it. I had money to bag up if I wanted to. A $300 Bitcoin. And the guy was telling me, he's like, well, that kind of thing. And I'm like, and now you look back at it and it's like, holy smokes, that was just insane. But that's just kind of where it's at. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be open-minded. And I've always been one of those people that is willing to take the risk. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not afraid to give it a shot and say, hey, what if it works? And it's just like those things continue to happen. If you can keep doing them, something's going to happen, right? You keep swinging the bat, eventually you're going to get a hit. You might foul off a few into there. You might take a baseball to the chest, but if you practice and you get better and you understand this, because this is not a guesstimate to me. And I know it's not a guesstimate to you because we've taken the time knowing to get in front of this trend of crypto that we can now make educated decisions on where we're going to do things. So Terry, let's kind of wind this down. I know we've been going about 35 minutes. Any closing comments?
Yeah, it's just on the same thread you were talking about, man. I really, 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 really wish that someone shook the shit out of me when Apple was a penny stock and said, dude, they're going to figure it out. Are you willing to bet against them? You really don't think they're going to figure it out? I wish someone explained to me that people aren't going to drive to the video store when they can stream the movie at home without getting off the couch. And someone shook me and said, you see the opportunity here? When Amazon was remodeling the idea that you could shop online and people didn't think it was going to work, I wish someone shook me and got me to say, get in front of this thing. Of course that's going to work. I wish when Jeff Bezos was starting up a data center, we love data centers. I wish someone got me in on them on the early days. I mean, we love them today, but man, getting in on the early days, man, that would have been huge. I wish somebody really got to me in Bitcoin because I was paying attention to Bitcoin. And I remember when it hit the 2000 mark, the only reason why I didn't get into Bitcoin, not because I didn't see a future, I just know the history of money, and they went after anyone who created an alternative back then. And I just said, man, they are going to shut this Bitcoin thing down, and my money is just going to evaporate. And I didn't look far enough to understand how Bitcoin couldn't be stopped.
Yep.
I know better today, and when I see a good opportunity, and there are multiple of them, I'm just not letting them slip by. And some will, some won't. So what next? And maybe this will be bigger than your wildest imagination, and maybe you'll be moderately successful, or maybe there's some crazy unforeseen thing that happens that I can't explain. But I haven't worked out a scenario where this doesn't make sense, where we don't come out the other side winning. And that's what I want other people to hear. And I hope they do well. I hope they decide. All I can encourage you to do, friends, if you're on here, if you know either of us or don't know either of us, or find us on Telegram or whatever you want to do here, get in touch, get to the bottom of it. Like I said, I ain't going to chase you over any of it. You just like it or you don't. I'll just help walk you down to the bottom of the rabbit hole so you can make the decision that makes the most sense for you and your family.
Absolutely. I have up on the screen right now, I have a texting platform that I use just for text alerts. The primary purpose of these is when people get the nodes a lot of times, they join with us and things. When Terry and I do lives like this, or the company may have a big announcement, or there's an event somewhere, these go out. I send these out myself. You can either screenshot, you can either scan the QR code and just push send. It'll automatically add you, or you can text the word Texit to 740-996-4404, and that gets you on there as well. And I would recommend that, because when we do these, especially if you're just taking a look at it, it allows you to kind of learn quicker. You see these, you hear them, you get more confidence in what you have, and that's kind of an important factor on this. But last words, anything, Terry, and I'll close it out.
Yeah, yes, I love your text thing, and I love that you've never abused it. You just use it appropriately for the tool that it is. So for those who are concerned, I think that's a great thing. But now, Mike, just refreshing to get on here and talk with you about crypto, about exciting things that might help our friends and family, move down the road towards their goals. I'm pumped about it. I'm looking forward to doing more of it. It's been a little while. We've never stopped doing some calls, of course, but it's been a little while, and it's great for us to get on here and do it again. Looking forward to the future. So what are your closing thoughts, Mikey? What do you got?
Just if somebody shared this with you, if I shared it with you, Terry shared it with you, get back to them, get questions answered. Obviously you can hit Terry and I up on that kind of stuff as well. And it's real easy to get started. Like literally you just name, address, phone number, and you pick your payment method, and they help you. I had a guy actually call me on the phone and walk me through the process, which was awesome. And then I was up and mining right like that. I mean, I went in there the next morning, and sure enough, there were tokens accumulating and stuff like that. And I ended up, I got the 3-pack right out of the gates. I'm gonna probably max out at about 9 right now, and then get the referral stuff on there going in as well. But you can always, I put in the description, or I'm sorry, in the comments, I put the link to the website. You can watch those videos. Just a great tool to share with people so they can get it going. So thanks again, Terry, man. Obviously it was great to get back on here with you, and we'll keep these rolling and educate the community on whatever projects, we find fit and so on. So last words, last thing, we're done.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, friends. Have a great day, and we'll catch you again soon.
All right. Stay there, Terry. I want to talk in a second. So thanks, guys.